try to all group up an AoE onto an Amumu Misfortune with a spinning Wukong that's monstrous because of the... Sure, they were called the best level 1 team coming in, but they know they don't have a team comp for it, so they just put up the defensive formation and say, no, you're not invading us, and if you do, we're going to know exactly where you come from.
Well, I suppose being part of, part and parcel of being the best level 1 team doesn't always mean best level 1 team attacking. You've also got to know when your combo says, no, you're not going in at level 1, otherwise that's going to go bad for us. We can see here 3 from Millenium just hanging around. Looks like they want to get that early ward over in position. They're going to go over a ward that's already been placed down, and look at that, a pink ward used early on to clear out the vision.
That's a little weird, because they placed a regular ward, and then based on Citizen Wayne's reaction in mid lane, which was scouted by Tabs, they saw him move a little bit towards where Millenium was going. They said, they have a ward right there. They threw down the pink, which is the second one, and they cleared it out. And now, I don't know why Acer would come by and place another ward, but it gets ripped out by the pink as well. That was the cheap ward. That was the Explorer ward, so it was only giving 10 gold and would have lasted 60 seconds anyway.
So we can see here the jungle starts for Acer. Going to beat the Wolves for Lee Sin, moving on to blue, and exactly the same, in fact not exactly the same on the other side. They left it a little bit there and decided to go straight in for the blue buff.
So regular start from I'm So Fresh. Slightly surprising start for Amazing Lee Sin starting blue. A lot of times he can be more versatile and go for red buff, but at the same time, that's not a bad thing. He's going to be farming up just fine. Standard lanes as well, no lane swapping.
Yeah, everything starting off pretty standard as we've come to know it. I mean, the great thing about League of Legends, I suppose, is that nothing's really standard anymore. That's the great thing that we've got coming in towards Season 3. But this top lane, Rumble versus Jax, what are your opinions on that top lane?
So Rumble is usually weak to things that can close to him quickly. That's Jax. Jax and Kale actually are pretty good against Rumble in the top lane, but that was in Season 2. We haven't seen much successful Jax in the Season 3. Used to kind of just only build the Trinity Force, but that item is no longer as effective, so Jax is also a little bit less effective, it seems. I wonder what Anguish has pulled out for himself on Jax. Rumble is also a little bit weak early, and with I'm So Fresh coming top lane for that gank so soon, I wonder if they're going to turn something on him. They're looking for it, but he's playing so cautious on Rumble up top.
Yeah, Shab's just backing right off from that one as Angus checked the bush. She's like, well, you're checking that bush for a reason. Are you scouting for your Amumu to come in and land that bandage toss on me? And a great read from Shab. As you can see down in this bottom lane as well. Both players actually going very, very low there. And Liumi almost catching Heidel with that Q. But he survives, and that will be the key point. No first blood, 3.5 minutes in.
So we have the same support matchup we saw last game with Alulu against Desira, meaning no sustain on either side. All the poke is going to stick for these guys. So Liumi, instead of Draven, we're going to see a Varus this game, but once again, no gap closers, no blinks. It could really be an aggressive lane down bottom.
There's Heidel again taking a good bit of damage from Liumi. In this middle lane, Tabs versus Citizen. Citizen Wayne obviously playing with that Carthus Tabs on the Wukong here. That's 22 to 23 CS, so not being bullied away is Amazing going to come in. Bandage toss is going to land. Wukong goes in a dasher straight over onto Citizen Wayne. Wall of Pain went down as well to stop the chase.
It's a good thing he got out of there quick, because giving away double buffs to Tabs would have been an absolute disaster. I gotta say, Wukong mid is looking really strong. We saw Kuban from MYM actually play it. I believe it was Kuban last weekend at IM Katowice, and it's something that's been really good for a while, but not many players have picked up on. Once he hits 6, his roam is absolutely amazing from mid lane. We'll see if he can pull off anything.
Right now, Amazing is sneaking his way in towards his top lane. It's actually fairly pushed here, and with Shabs having to take down that siege minion as well, that may result in some badness. So we do see down in this bottom lane there, players getting very, very low. Heidel just about gets away. I'm So Fresh is actually coming around the side here, but to be honest, with how much health Liumi's got, I think this could be dangerous, but he lands in on towards I, My, Me, Mine. There is the exhaust going down onto I'm So Fresh. He's going to go in towards Liumi, and he's trying to get him away from it with this red buff on, but he's going to get rooted, and there is the first blood. Varus takes down Amumu, and I said that on the start. I don't think that he's really going to have the damage to do anything there.
I'm So Fresh trying to make plays. He's such an aggressive player that normally on something like Lee Sin that would work out, but you just don't have the ability to do that on a Mumu at level 4. He surrenders the red buff to Acer's bottom lane, and Liume, who'd already pushed back, really that was a 2v3 kill for them. So that, even with the gold they were getting a little bit out from the lanes, pulls them back and keeps them alive in this game.
And that will give Liume that. The double Doran's blade and a dagger and the boots coming back into this lane. Misfortune will return with the Vamp Scepter and a tier 1 boots as well.
So we'll see how the sustain ends up working in that lane. Liume going for the life on hit from the Doran's blades, really looking to win now, where Cretan without a flash or a barrier and no flash on Hadel really means they were bullying early with the 39 minion kills to 30, but they have to be scared now when a red buff Varus comes back with double Dorans and dagger.
Lee Sin was just hanging around this bottom side as well. Just seen Citizen Wayne taking away those wraiths. An extra bit of farm, always a welcome thing to have. And he's not going to be missing anything here in this middle lane. So down at the bottom, as I said, Lee Sin was having a bit of a sniff around. He decided to go back. There's a pink ward now being put down as well from Millenium. So they want to play more defensive. I say they want to. It's more like they have to play more defensive on this bottom lane.
Just because the item disadvantage. You can see I'm So Fresh was kind of thinking about going bot lane, then realized that's how he got himself into this situation in the first place. Hopefully he goes elsewhere. He's going to have to support really Tabs' Wukong. And this mid lane, Citizen has went so squishy. He rushed a Tear of the Goddess onto Karthus. That's like 3 swings from a Wukong if he can even get to him. He has to play so passive in the mid lane here with that setup.
And he's got Brutalizer as well there, so probably, well, possibly at least, I'll say, dangerous times coming in from this Karthus. We'll see how he handles all that one going in. Again, bottom lane of Millenium playing very defensive.
I wonder if they're going to be able to turn that around.
I can't remember. Slightly just quit the game, but we've got another screen here which is all good. As we can see there, actually Angush taking damage here from Shabs, and to be honest, Shabs may be in a lot of trouble. He will put his ultimate down, but look at the damage he's putting out here, and Angush has to back away from that one, and that was a nice turnaround. Look, almost a certainty there, and Angush, as you said, that's one of his main champions, Jax. He's got so much experience on him. And
it really looked like he was going to have the kill onto Shabs there. Jax usually wins the Rumble matchup. He brought the early Null Magic Mantle with the Doran's Blade, but it was just a matter of Shabs fighting on top of the Rumble ultimate, which made Angush have to fall back. Really good threat that he put up to counteract Angush's aggression, and he managed to escape without even having to burn Flash.
Nicely done. Let's take a quick look at the overall picture. It's cut through. Oh, god damn it. It's neck and neck, Jack.
Neck and neck.
It's neck and neck.
Close game.
That'll do for me. 200 or not even gold lead right now. 1-0 obviously in favour of Acer after that first blood was, I want to say, gifted over to Liume there after some very aggressive play from I'm So Fresh in that bottom side of the jungle. Red buff being picked up there by amazing Citizen Wayne doing his job on the Wraiths, and Tabs is going to be wandering down onto this bottom lane.
And they're trying to get that first blood back right here. I'm So Fresh knows there's a pink ward in the brush he's in, so he is unscouted, but Tabs gets seen by the ward. Amazing would be there. Right now, Acer thinks they'd have a 3v3, but they don't know about I'm So Fresh making it 4. If they can combo the Amumu with the Misfortune, they would win this fight. The Karthus ult would come in and make it almost a 3.5 before, but this could be a lot of action. If something happens, they might just scare each other off there. There's Tabs!
Wukong coming in, there's a bullet time. Where is Amumu? Here is Amumu. They get 2 down. Amazing gonna fall. It's a 2-for-1 up till now. They're still pushing through. Heidel has to use the ultimate on himself. Just about survives it. Can Lumia escape from this one? It's gonna be hard, and he doesn't quite escape. He tried to get a last bit of damage onto I'm So Fresh with the turret. Didn't work out, and that will be a 3-for-1.
So oh no, Citizen Wayne comes in. He might try to get crit or I'm So Fresh.
Yeah, he's going in towards I'm So Fresh. He does have that Defile on. That will be a kill, but he is going to fall here to crit. And can he get a 1 less blast? Yes, he can. Double kill coming down from Citizen Wayne.
So that actually makes it 4 for 3 overall in just a bloodbath bottom lane, because everyone who went down there died, as far as I can tell. Lulu was the only one who escaped without dying, so Hadel going back to base without a death. I'm not sure who that favors quite yet. Probably Citizen, because he's just stacking AP as fast as possible.
Yeah, he's going straight up towards that death cap now with the nearly to large rod and the blasting one. Obviously, the tier was picked up earlier on for him. Wukong coming back into lane, got those boots of mobility. So we talked about his roaming potential, getting in there and well, getting that ulti off to get the knock up and the great damage that it does as well in the time that it's running as well. So we'll see if he can manage that one. Just going back home again to get some more health in him.
And it's going to be really scary watching this develop because that was the first preview of the AoE combo that we're going to see from Millenium. Tab started it with the Wukong ult. They comboed with the bullet time. I'm So Fresh came in and Mumu ulted. But then, later on, we saw Citizen Wayne come in on Karthus. When Millenium tries to do this in the future, they're going to have to be doing that through a really, really strong Karthus Defile and a Rumble ult. So I don't know how effective that's going to be. It's going to be really close when these two teams team fight.
When will we see that? No Dragon attempts has gone down just yet. We're seeing a couple of wards here and there in the general vicinity as Amazing is headed up on towards this top lane. He was pinged off there and Angus just came down to check that he wasn't coming through the river itself. And to counter this, I'm So Fresh has snuck into this top bush. So we could see some more 2-on-2 action on this top lane.
And these junglers are all over each other as a kill comes out bottom lane from Liumi and me mine. I can't do it.
And speaking of kills, we may see something here in the top lane as the Rumble ulti does go down. Here comes the Moon, and they've got in towards Amazing, but he jumps over on towards Angush. Karthus ulti, not quite enough to finish it as Tabs has killed Me Mine at the bottom. Amazing comes in from the side. Angush will escape. Liumi's died there at the bottom, and well, we talked about a bloodbath bottom lane, but this time he goes on all over the map.
So, wow, that was a lot of stuff. I didn't track Tabs going all the way bottom lane. You can see that Citizen Wayne is trying to counteract Tabs' roam by just ulting with Karthus, but he's unable to get really any damage down on the tower. And look at this, Citizen trying to solo the Dragon. They didn't see him with any wards coming through, but that's actually going to be kind of a close fight.
Let's see if we can pick it up. There goes the Defile. Needs that extra damage. Amazing going to come in. Heidal's at the side like, hey, what's going on here? There goes Amazing. And will, in fact, just take that one without the smite as well.
And that was a great play, in all honesty. They knew the fight had just happened. Everyone was back in the base. And that's just the teamwork coming in. Citizen sacrificed his own lane farm to give greater gold to the team. He knew he's kind of been slacking, not being able to help with any of the ganks aside from his ultimate. But a 13-minute death cap after starting with a tier that's about half stacked means he's going to be so powerful on Karthus by the end of the game.
116 to 112 CS there. You see, he's around about 700 gold ahead of his lane counterpart there. Wukong, top lane Jax does have the advantage in the CS, but gold is almost bang on even, only 40-50 difference in that one, and between the AD carries 600 in favour of Misfortune after going 3-1-3. Let's take a look at the items between those two AD carries as well. We can see Bloodthirster finished with the Brawler's Gloves and the Berserker Greaves to Misfortune, and we may see no invade coming down, so carry on there with Varus, who's got just the Vamp Scepter and double Doran's Blade. And
this is the cost that Liumi pays by going double Doran's. They had a window when Creatine just had the Vamp Scepter, and Liumi had so much more health with the life on hit from the Dorans, but it's gone now because the Bloodthirst has been completed, and it's now Misfortune that is substantially stronger.
And So Fresh just taking away his red buff, already has the blue buff on him. And Amazing doing the same on the bottom side there for Acer. And one thing that we've seen Citizen here, constant rates. Every time they've come up, they've gone over on towards Citizen Wayne, who's actually been tracked here, and he is going to get ulted onto, but we've got Amazing coming in around the side. Can they lock Tabs down from this one? Citizen decides to get away, but not enough, as Wukong turns around, will take him down. Tabs trying to juke here away from the damage, but the Defile on from that Karthus goes. Now I'm So Fresh in trouble as well as it collapsing. Zyra ulti goes down, bullet time coming out as well. The damage not quite high enough to finish off, but I'm So Fresh going low. Lulu will have to back away. Creatine's gone off to the side and picked up Zyra, and now they turn it around on towards Creatine, who gets that Lulu ulti. Liumi is low. Liumi goes down. Lee Sin comes in, and Mumu comes in, and they are just piling in on top of each other the whole time, and that will end with a 4-for-2 in favor of Millenium. Crazy stuff.
Absolute chaos, Joe, that just happened. It all began when Tabs got the advantage on Citizen Wayne. He found the smallest window when Citizen was not in his tower, and he punished him immediately. That's why Wukong is so strong against Karthus, because they got the jump on them at the start there. When the other 3 members from the jungle and bottom lane eventually all piled up into that chaotic fight, they were able to come out on top because it essentially started 4v3, and at the end, that's when it paid off.
Now we're just seeing that bottom lane being pushed out. Not sure that they'll finish it off. I didn't quite see the tower health on that bottom side, but we can see that Wukong here is waiting inside of the brush. Let's see if he can get in and do anything onto Shabs. His ultimate is not too far away from being available, and pair that up with Counter-Strike as well, and Shabs is going to be on a crowd control effect for a very long time. Should he venture too far out from this turret, he's got that Haunting Guys plus the Sorcerer's Shoes on there. But will Wukong come out? Yes, he will.
There he comes, and Shabs gets destroyed. You're right. Who cares about crowd control? Because you're going to die immediately. He immediately buys a Giant's Belt because he doesn't want that to happen again. And I'm surprised he didn't smell something like that approaching, because I'm So Fresh was just randomly mid on a Mumu, which means where could Wukong possibly be? He's probably ganking a lane. With the gank, they take a turret.
And there came the Karthus ultimate as well, pretty much just to stop this bottom lane going down, to be honest with you. Creaton was putting on so much pressure in what was pretty much a 1v2 lane down there. Lulu was forced to back away from it, and another great job coming out from Creaton. That's what happens when your Misfortunes 5-1-4
wow.
comes in, bullet time. I, me, mine, not going to stay alive from that one. And, well, yeah, as I said, Misfortune 6-1-4.
That's going to be really scary as the game moves on, because normally you have to see the Misfortune go for a Black Cleaver to stack up the enemy, but they have tabs doing that for him. So the bullet time, if Creedon just goes straight AD, if he goes pretty much an Infinity Edge or a Phantom Dancer or even a Static Shiv right after this, he's going to be crushing pretty much everyone on Acer. Acer doesn't have a true front line, so if they get caught in a Wukong ult or in a Mumu ult or Misfortune bullet time, they're pretty much all going to evaporate immediately. No one up front to take the damage. Acer's going to have to initiate, because if they get caught in something like the huge amount of damage that they do, they're just done like that.
Yeah, Liumi just getting completely caught out of position there. Bottom side of the jungle. Yeah, there's not really much to talk about, because he did get literally hammered in that one, as Tab's going to ulti here on towards Amazing. Will Amazing go down? He's pretty much the strongest that he got as the Amumu ulti comes in. There is the kill. It's I'm So Fresh that picks that one up. And after that aggressive play on bottom lane that gave First Blood away, he's now on a killing spree.
And in that last fight, they didn't expect the roam to come up to mid lane so quickly. Citizen Wayne actually shopped on Karthus, knowing that the aggression just happened bot lane. They didn't think to go in, and they're just diving onto Shabs.
Yeah, a real strong team as well. I mean, with those three, with Jax, Wukong, and Amumu, they're so strong between them there. They can dive straight in, and then if they do get in there, they've got that AoE to just absolutely obliterate everyone they get to.
It's working out for them quite well right now. They seem to be pulling away a little bit, because I believe when this game was 7 kills to 11, the gold was pretty much dead even, around 23,000, and they've really blown up that lead to about 4,000. Now they're camping around the dragon. They have the timer up from when they saw Citizen Wayne killing on Karthus, and they're going.
Dragon is started, but look at this, Citizen Wayne will be trying something on the other side. He gets shielded up there by Amazing. Will they be able to do anything here? That dragon has now gone down. Wukong's actually going to scout this one.
So they saw Wukong coming over in the ward and just pulled off Baron. He sensed something, it seems like, and he's trying to juke around creatively. Citizen's caught out.
Wow, he's managed to flash away, but will he get away from Creaton? No, he won't. Tab's going low. Tabs will go down, so that's a 1-for-1, but it's another kill brought out there by Misfortune, just mopping up with that extra damage that they couldn't quite find onto Citizen, who flashed away, and well, in the end, it was all just that little bit too little, too late, and now they're going to push this middle wave out, and they might have a good go at this inner turret.
And I don't know if Acer's going to have a way of dealing with Misfortune. They have no divers to really get on, so unless they can kill her from range with AoE, she's going to destroy everyone. I'm So Fresh also caught out by Acer. Fight happening in front of the tower.
Yeah, he's going to actually bandage toss in towards the support. Here comes Jack's bullet time going over as well. Jack's actually stunned two of them up, but they weren't in the bullet time range. Anguish is now going low as well. Here comes a Karthus ultimate. Can he finish off? Yes, but it's actually Amazing that gets the kill. He's going to pay the price. Creaton takes him down. Creaton went head-to-head with Rumble. The lifesteal there of the Bloodthirst to keep him alive to get the kill, but he gets shut down by Liumi.
not after a double kill, so it was a good turnaround. They repelled the push, but it was still just a 2 for 2, and the 2 kills went to the absolute worst target that they could have, with him now picking up a last Whisper right after Cretan went back to base and shopped. Citizen is just such a glass cannon on Karthus. He doesn't even have boots yet. He's immediately assassinated. He's not even having the opportunity to die in the right places during these fights because he dies as soon as Millenium chooses at this point.
And that's what they need. I mean, if you look at the difference in the items between the AD carries, Varus, Bloodthirster, that's pretty much it. On the other side, Bloodthirster, Phantom Dancer, Last Whisper. That Misfortune is going to be ripping them to pieces, especially once Wukong's in there, dealing that, putting them stacks to the Black Cleaver down as well. And you've got a Mumu who's now very healthy and nice and tanky with that Sunfire cape on. You've got Jax who, he on his own, I mean, he's going to be doing good amounts of damage and he's healthy to boot.
I'm not sure how Acer wants to proceed here. They kind of tried their Baron Gambit when they knew Millenium was taking the Dragon, and that didn't pay off. They've lost the majority of the last few team fights. They don't really have the ability to pick the fights. That's really all for Millenium. So if Acer wants to win this game, they really have to do something creative.
And that might be having to take out Misfortune. I mean, they've got to get on her. They've got to get on this Misfortune because she's ripping them to shreds. If not, there's Warmog's finished on Wukong as well, just to make him even stronger because he, like Karthus, actually has to get right into the middle of the team and get that ultimate on as many of them as he can. However, unlike Karthus, he's just not going down quickly.
And it's really cool. You want to stack health on Wukong because his passive gives him armor and MR for the more enemies he's around, so that's a really efficient buy. I mean, we've already seen everyone go Warmogs anyway, but it's extra special on Wukong.
Now, we are seeing him pushing towards Shabs, who's trying to escape, but, well, his ultimate is going to do, a little bit of damage to Angus, but certainly not stop him from being taken out there. And, those are the kills that when you're behind, you just can't really afford to let happen.
And I wonder how they're feeling about this one, because they picked Karthus straight into Tabs, who's going to pick an assassin. They picked Rumble into a guy who mains Jax. They've really laned themselves in tough situations, and they're getting just picked off and initiated on entirely. They lose another turret. They're really got their backs against the wall. Acer is struggling right now.
And that top lane has a good wave of minions pushing in there. I'm wondering whether Millenium will feel confident enough to go that. No, it looks like they want to go home and spend what they've earned from pushing those last waves out and also getting that inner turret down. And what are we going to be seeing brought up here when they go back? Jax has got himself the Vamp Scepter coming in there. They've got an Aegis in there, another health crystal there picked up for Jax as well. So overall, a nice little pickup coming in. Yeah, they're going to have to do this one.
So Acer knows that they're going to be losing this one. They tried to sneak a Baron. They didn't even have pink wards. They were hoping that Millenium had just forgotten to ward Baron. As soon as they saw Tabs, they got scared away. Creatine ran straight up from the bottom lane, pushed it back.
Now going to push this lane straight back there. Will Acer try and get in? They're just taking away as many creeps as they can, but between I'm So Fresh and Tabs, they can tank this up enough that Creatine can put the damage down as the root does come in onto Tabs. Let's see what they can do. Zyrult goes down. He flashes away from it. Here comes I'm So Fresh. Where is the ulti coming down? The exhaust comes in. Wukong's in the middle. There is a Curse of the Sad Mummy. Amazing. It's going to dash away from that one, but they've already lost one man. That was Rumble that went down in the fight. This is going to be an inhibitor.
They got to fall back immediately after this because Citizen has his Karthus ultimate up. If they could get any damage down, he's going to try to finish with ult. But look at Creatine just destroy him.
Wow. Yeah, and the lifesteal is just enough for him there. Actually gets rooted, Tabs, right inside. Here comes the ultimate out of Karthus. Not enough to finish them off. And that will be a 2-for-1 in the end. I'm So Fresh went very, very low. And what are Acer going to do now? Are they headed up towards Baron?
They might try something, but the majority of their Baron damage is off. They're really just looking to chase and get more kills.
Oh, can they get a nice counter-strike comes out there from Angush. There's the Glitter Lance from the side though, but he's hit the Q. He's hit the Q onto I'm So Fresh. Shield comes out from Lulu. Amazing, he's going to have to back away. Another Glitter Lance comes in. That was a fantastic team effort to stop this, to stop them going down.
It looks so much like once the Q landed, the second one, kind of behind the back onto I'm So Fresh. I thought Amumu was dead, but the Lulu shield came in just at the right time. They've repelled the counter push by Acer, and again look to be in pretty good control.
7,300 gold currently. And Dragon is being done by Acer, which not sure that Millenium will be too worried about that.
It's a good pickup, nonetheless. So Acer will be able to get a few items there. It gets them closer to the point where they want to be, which would obviously be ahead in gold, but it still doesn't solve any of their big problems in this game.
Tabs and I'm So Fresh again headed up towards his top side. There are pink wards with them. We see that one there put down by Baron. They're not quite in range of that one there in the bush. They need to be stood in both sides of it. Well, Heidel actually does have an Oracle on as well, so if he happens to walk over that bush, which he does, they're going to get rid of that last bit of vision that Acer have around this Baron. The question is now, will Millenium be feeling confident enough to take it? I mean, they obviously are confident enough to take fights, and to be honest, around that Baron area, Jack, even if Acer try and peel away into the narrow corridors of the jungle, for this AoE setup, that's really good for them.
And the best thing about this is Creaton actually built the Banshee's Veil. We mentioned the only way that Acer was going to be able to deal with Misfortune is if they killed her from range with magic damage. She built the perfect item against that. Now with the pink wards, they're really baiting onto Baron. Tabs is trying to get initiation, and here they come.
Yep, Citizen going to go down instantly there. Amazing did get caught in Curse of the Sad Mummy. Millenium have forced him away. Are they going to push in for more here? I'm So Fresh will get locked up there by the Virus Ultimate. And that's just going to spread around and annoy Millenium more than anything else. Maybe slow them down a little bit as they head back to Baron.
Unless you're comboing that Bear Assault with a huge amount of persistent damage, it really doesn't do much. It's just there for the crowd control. And with Citizen Wayne's Glass Cannon build, he went in early, they went in not really in the same area, he got caught out, and now it's a 4v5, so free Baron for Millenium.
Millenium taking that one nicely. They'd force Acer completely away from it, who are now, they've got those super minions coming in. We saw the inhibitor fall down earlier on. They've got to make sure that their Nexus turrets don't get picked off as they're trying to defend any other objective here. And by the looks of it, Millenium going to put the pressure now onto this top lane. Bottom lane's actually decently pushed as well, should they need to push down to that one as well.
Really quite fearless they are. There's still no ultimate on Amumu, so this could maybe be a bad fight if they took it immediately. But with the confidence they have right now, I feel like they could go through. Tabs would throw the ultimate off. They'd combo everything like they have through the rest of the game. Just no Amumu ult, and it looks like Acer doesn't have the answer.
Acer just going to be camping here, throwing a couple of wards over the top, which actually just go down. There's obviously that Oracle Elixir there on Lulu. But can Acer hold this one? We've talked about how healthy they are, how, to be honest, diveable they are in this situation, especially with that Baron buff on. So it wouldn't surprise me to see them wait for Amumu to get his ultimate and then end up diving in.
They only got 30 seconds, so that's the duration of a creep wave. They might have it by the end of this next creep wave that hits the turret. There's also a wave of super minions pushing down the mid, so Liumi is just stuck killing super minions. Sometimes they have a small window to go in. They might go on this wave if it doesn't get completely cleared off. I'm surprised they're not flanking around the side, but the fact they're sticking around this long tells me they want to go in.
Creaton there having his Banshee's Veil finally popped, but we know it now comes up all that much faster.
They're probably going to go on the next wave.
I'm So Fresh now has his ultimate. He's what I would predict to be a fake recall in back there. Yep.
They all
doing the same.
They're all sitting on over 1,000 gold, so their gold advantage is actually kind of small at this point overall, but they're going.
Here we go. They're going to see Jax jump in. There is the ultis combining perfectly. They've taken down two in quick succession. There's the third. Amazing now going to be pressured by the rest of them. Angus actually flashing in. The Karthus ulti will try and hold them off, but try is all it will do there, and they've pushed right through on that one. They've not lost a single man. Yes, they've lost a lot of health in the process, but they've got enough health here to take down at least this inhibitor, as Liumi takes a good quarter, maybe even a third of his health from Tabs there. And the super minions are coming in. That first inhibitor that went down in the middle is now respawned. That won't last very long either. And Millenium now in a commanding position. They
just comboed it so well. They went in at the right time. It's still pretty early in the game, 29 minutes, which is why the death timers are short enough that they weren't able to roll in and end the game. But this is effectively over for them. They just need to go back, buy their items, get the third inhibitor, and roll through the rest of the base, because Acer has proven again and again in this game that they have no way of initiating, they have no way of finishing off Misfortune, and they cannot teamfight at the level that Millenium can.
We've just seen that the Shirelli has been finished off by Lulu. Got Berserker Greaves in there as well. And the Aegis of the Legion. The Runic Bulwark finished off. A couple of Hex Drinkers in there. Warmogs from Millie and Negatron was picked up. Blade of the Ruin King. Just brilliant items. Yeah, all the items.
Blade of the Ruin King just completed onto Anguish. We've seen a couple Jaxes go in here. This is the upgrade to the Bilgewater Cutlass that got added in the Season 3 item patch. Something we haven't seen too much of, but you definitely see it on Jax. Just 2,800 gold on Cretan right now. He's going to go back and buy something juicy, I'd imagine, if he wants to. He doesn't even really need to at this point. He is so far ahead, and the items just never caught up for Acer. They're too far behind in gold. They got too pressured by Tabs' roam. I mean, you can see 185 minion kills on Wukong to 260 on Citizen Wayne, but it pays off for the rest of the team because Wukong was everywhere this game.
Misfortune still. Now, as if he didn't already have enough gold, he's just taking away the golems at the top. It's going to go home, and we are going to be seeing a 6-item Misfortune coming out here very soon. As Heidel actually is going to get ulted on here at the bottom. Acer looking to engage the fight, but they pop that Shirelias, and they get straight out of there. And it was a Warmogs, by the way, picked up by Misfortune.
Double defensive items right there, just making sure that he's a tank. 3,600 health Misfortune. Yeah. No way you're going to accidentally kill him with accidental Rumble or Karthus damage, which is pretty much the only way they have of reaching him. Sure, Amazing could try to dive in with Lee Sin, but he's just got the wriggles. He would never get there either. So, with 2 inhibitors down now, pretty much a full-time defender in Leumi, and even I, My, Me, Mine are both back trying to finish off Super Creeps. All 5 members of Millenium are grouped up around this bottom inhibitor turret. They have all 5 of their ultimates up. They're going to look to combo something soon.
Here we go then. Turret taking damage already here from Cretan, who still has that Banshee's Veil intact as they are going to start to dive in. And look at that. Karthus exploded. Curse of the sad bullet time actually coming down. They've destroyed them with that combo coming in. Amazing will dash away, but Millenium have forced them away from this turret. They may even just go in for the Nexus turrets at this rate, as Cretan will get himself a double kill. He's pushing right towards that turret, going up against Amazing, who's getting that heal, but it's not even really that much as he finally gets taken down. But in the meantime, first Nexus turret, second Nexus turret going down. They just need to focus in, finish off the Nexus to win this game. Leumi and Amazing trying their best to hold up on this one, but it's going to be too little, too late, as Angus jumps away. Double kill comes out for Leumi, and there is the Glitter Lance, the auto attacks from Heidel finishing it off, and Millenium going to pick up their first game here after having the worst possible start, which is giving first blood away. They turned it around and showed